I just don't know how this is gonna work out. Hey, what's going on? My name's Andrew, you can call me Pooch, and I'd like to welcome you to the Less Lonely channel. I am really glad you're here because today, if you can see behind me, I'm doing a little photo shootout, a little experiment with my Canon EOS R and my Fuji X100V. I wanna see if I can tell the difference between the two photos. I know what you're saying. It may be a one-sided battle, but I still wanna figure it out. So let's get into it. So truly, is this a one-sided battle? At first I was thinking, like, yes, this is going to be a futile experiment, but now I'm not so sure. You see, I've been using my X100V as my daily driver. I take it everywhere with me. I love using it. And the more I use it, the more I'm completely impressed, not just by the Fuji simulations, but how versatile the raw files really are. I've often complained about the size of my R5 and how bringing it around, I can get amazing photos, but unless I'm on a job or I'm going out of my way to make sure that the content I capture is really high quality, it oftentimes is too much for me. In studio, it's a different story, but I have been honestly thinking to myself, could I make the move to Fuji? Could I maybe use the X100V for photos and then try to invest in something maybe for video? I'm just really loving how the Fuji works. And so that's what we're doing today. I'm gonna put these two against one another in studio. The same conditions, same lighting, same camera settings, same everything. So you and I can figure out definitively if one has a leg up over the other. But before we dive into that, I do think it's important to run down the specs. So first up, let me talk about the Canon. We've got a full frame sensor here. We're using the whole thing. We're getting a lot of information in. It's also a 45 megapixel sensor. And last but not least, it is an RF mount camera. RF is the new glass that Canon has come out with. It is just chef's kiss, and I do believe that my RF glass will far outlast my camera body. Moving on to the X100V, the story's a little different. You see, the X100V is rocking an APS-C sensor, otherwise known as a crop sensor. So when we think about full frame as covering a large amount, an APS-C sensor is going to cover just a little bit less. On top of that, the Fuji's humble with 26.1 megapixels at my disposal. And last but not least, it is a fixed Fujinon lens. It is a 22mm lens, which I think is equivalent to about 35mm with the crop sensor. So, on paper, the Canon crushes. There should be no competition. I'm talking David and Goliath levels of competition here. But here's the deal. Under the same studio circumstances, I was pretty surprised. Oh, and one more thing, there's gonna be a section where you're gonna guess which was shot with which. Make sure to take your time, pause, peek, zoom in, do whatever you want to really get a feel for how these turned out. I'm actually gonna go ahead and leave a little WeTransfer link down in the bio where you can download the high-res JPEGs to do some more pixel peeping if you'd like. All right, time to be impressed. I've been wanting to do this shoot for a while. Salehe Bembury is teaming up with New Balance and making dope shoes. I got these guys right here. Let me shake off the dirt. These are the yurts. They've got, check this out. They've got a whistle on them. Anyway, I've been wanting to do a shoot like this for a minute. I got the Salehe hoodie on as well. So I thought this would be the perfect type of shoot for this challenge. What I did is I made sure that every photo looked exactly the same as best as I could make it. I'm talking camera settings, framing, you name it. It had to look the same to make it a little bit more challenging for you to figure out which photo is which. At first, I thought to myself, this is gonna be cakewalk. Everyone's gonna be able to nail it. Everyone's gonna know what's going on. But I was actually pretty impressed. ready for the big reveal? Here we go. For photo set number 1A, was the Fuji and B was the Canon. For set number 2, A again was the Fuji and B was the Canon. For set number 3, A was the Canon and B was the Fuji. And set number 4, A was the Fuji and B was the Canon. So tell me, how did you do? I will be honest with you, when I was uploading and exporting my photos from Lightroom into a folder for this video, I actually got them mixed up. The only way I knew was by actually looking at the raw file type. That's what actually helped me know which was which on some of these. Now, I will say, I think the Canon is a sharper image all around. That's what you're gonna look for when comparing these two images. And so I really could push the Canon further. That being said, I think where the Fuji actually had the upper hand is with its minimum focusing distance. You see, I was able to get closer with the Fuji, which I did a poll on Instagram. It actually threw some people off, which I thought was really interesting. So if I were to distill my final thoughts in the process behind testing these two cameras out, here's what I'd say. Obviously, the Canon is still the professional go-to. I'm not gonna show up to a high-paying gig with my Fuji. I just don't think I can do that yet. The only person I've ever seen really do that is this guy, I think is Cam Mackey. He's killer. Go check him out if you can. I'll put his link as well in the description below. But here's the kicker. If your client is an online retailer, if you're creating content for yourself that goes onto TikTok, Instagram, even websites, I think you can get away with just using the Fuji. I really do. It really held its own. And unless we're pixel peeping or our clients are requiring us to really produce a high-res image, I think you're gonna be just okay. So there you have it, the camera shootout that's been going around in my head for the past 3 months. Let me know what you think. Do you love the Canon? Do you love the Fuji? Let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed my little game. I had a ton of fun preparing it, shooting with it. Just so cool to have two cameras that can do so much. It really is an amazing thing that I'm incredibly thankful for. We're about a week and a half after Thanksgiving, but I'm still on that thankfulness train. Cameras, creativity, you, thanks for being here. And let me just say, if you do want to feel less lonely on your creative journey, then I recommend leaving a like, dropping a comment, and then ultimately subscribing to the channel so that we can be creative together and feel less lonely. All right, I'll see you in the next one. And I am really excited for the next one because we're gonna bring the X100V out for a little vlog and video action in Nashville. Woo, I'm ready. All right, peace. Cleaning this up is gonna suck. Oh no. Goodbye.